Welcome to Massive Beers. My name is Matt. We do the beer stuff here. Pumpkin beers. It's been a while since I've done a pumpkin beer, probably since last fall. Um, and I am a fan of pumpkin beers. And by that, I should say I am a fan. I got a fuzzy on me. I am a fan of good beer. And when a pumpkin beer is really good, I enjoy it. It's not so much that pumpkin beers are good because they're pumpkin beers. This happened to be a good beer that happens to be a pumpkin beer. One of those beers I've reviewed before, Schlafly. Schlafly pumpkin beer is or has been one of my kind of Mount Rushmores of pumpkin beer since been drinking beer slash pumpkin beers. Um, I think it's probably like it's for me around Mount Rushmore stuff, but one of the best examples of what style can be and how good it can be. And Schlafly, or their marketing firm that they whatever, hey, or whatever, reached out and said, hey, we have some pumpkin beer. We'd like to send it your way. And I said, I will do that because it's been a while since I've done that. And they said, but we have a vanilla version. And I said, that would be a really fun side by side. So here we go. We're going to do Schlafly's pumpkin ale versus Schlafly's vanilla pumpkin ale. The ale brewed with vanilla extract and pumpkin spices. Yeah. Label wise, ale brewed pumpkin and with spices added. I have to be careful holding this 8% alcohol by volume over here. Full bodied sweetness for a beer that tastes like pumpkin pie. I have to hold it gently because this was the worst packed one of tied. Let's put it that way for the worst packed beer mail I've ever received in my life, and there was glass everywhere. Whoever sent this off, are we 8%? Still the same 8%. They call this more desserty. So yeah, whoever packed this off, the marketing firm, maybe they're not used to sending beer. You would hope they would be representing Schlafly, but they took a sixer, three of these, put it in like a cardboard 6-pack holder, and put like I don't know a foot of bubble wrap maybe, and just threw it in a box and sent it to me. I don't know how it got delivered because typically when stuff leaks, um, shipping firms tend to not want to deliver those packages. They tend to be returned to sender. But this ended up making it to me. Very democratic breakage on these, in the sense that one of each style broke. So I ended up with 4 instead of 6. But I'm blown away that it received any at all. So we did the whole double pour here. So we didn't tilt our glasses. So we have a head that is gigantor. But I wanted to do it that way anyway. So deal with it. They look identical. I mean, if I look at each one in some light, I would say if I'm being the pickiest of nitpicks, the base pumpkin has a little bit more haze to it. Very, very minor. I don't even know if you'd be able to see that on camera, but it just has the slightest bit. I mean, we're nitpicking the craziness here. So yeah, head coloration looks to be about the same. This one right now over here looks a slight bit lighter, but I think because it's half the size. So it looks all the part of what pumpkin beer typically does, that rich red, brownish mixture. The head tends to come off a little bit more orange, leaning because of the addition of pumpkin. Let's see if we can get a nose off of the base. Yeah, it smells like pumpkin beer. It smells like pumpkin spices, not heavy-handed though. That's my thing. That's my personal little thing when it comes to pumpkin beers. I like the flavor profile. I just think a lot of breweries tend to get a little heavy-handed with the pumpkin spices, and that can be a little off-putting for me. I'm getting that pumpkin spice, not heavily clove too, so I dig on that. And I believe I'm one of the few that'll say, "Oh, I believe pumpkin brings something to the table." Absolutely brings something to the table. The actual pumpkin gourd itself, from a mouthfeel perspective. But I do believe if you treat it right, if you just don't dump pumpkin in, if you maybe roast it or get it to a certain consistency, you can add flavor to the beer also. But yeah, it smells like I don't want to say a reserved spiced pumpkin beer, but a pumpkin beer without being too heavy-handed. Let's see where the vanilla gets. See, again, you're not dealing with something that's just over the top vanilla here. I actually think the vanilla on the vanilla one actually mutes a little bit of the pumpkin spice, but not by a great margin. It just adds a little bit of a barrier to getting into those pumpkin spices. So you get a little bit of vanilla, nothing too crazy, with that pumpkin spice. Now, knee jerk reaction, I'm going to go with the vanilla one. Why? Because this dude likes whipped cream. Cool. Whip on his pumpkin pie. And I will say this. Maybe this is the reason why I'm a pumpkin beer fan. Pumpkin pie is elite status dessert for me. Like, it's a Mount Rushmore. Let's put it that way. Cheesecake, brownie. I'm not crazy. I don't have to go foo foo with my desserts. Pumpkin pie, baked desserts, because then, ice cream's kind of whatever. I don't know who would be. Chocolate, German chocolate cake. Yeah, that'd probably be my jam. So it's one of my more favorite desserts. So I can get down with pumpkin pie. Someone's in beer form. I'm here for it. But yeah, so pumpkin spice, nothing too heavy handed. Pumpkin spice a little bit muted because there's a dollop of vanilla on it. Yeah, we're living it. We're living it. Let's dive into the base. Cheers. Yeah, see, this is the reason why when I talk about the Schlafly pumpkin, the reason why I like it, it's because of the again, I keep using the word muted, but I use the word muted because of how heavy handed everybody else is. The reserved, maybe is a better way to put it. You have pumpkin spice here. You're getting like typical flavors, a little bit of cinnamon, a little like caramel vibes. I am getting clove in the taste, but not too heavy handed. And outside of that, you're actually still drinking beer. You're getting a malt base here, a nice little caramel maltiness, nothing too crazy. Caramel like esque kind of maltiness. There's a bitter in here. So I think that clove in combination with hops here kind of adds a little bit of bittering and keeps this beer from getting over the top sweet. It keeps it from being cloying. A lot of those pumpkin beers can get there. This one does not. It has a really nice, soft, not full, not rich, but soft kind of mouthfeel. Very much like elite Doppelbock level kind of mouthfeel, which, you would hope you get there with pumpkin. So let's switch over to the vanilla. Well, I wish it had just a hair more vanilla to it, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. It's kind of all the nose, which is kind of creepy. Because there's a mouthfeel component that I'm getting that I'm like attribute to the nose. You get that pumpkin spice here. Everything is a little bit muted, but the level of muted pumpkin spice does not equal the vanilla. So let's say the pumpkin spice over here is muted by 33%, a third for that combination. Getting like another 15-20% of vanilla. It's not like it's filling that void completely. So I can't believe I'm going to say this. I wish there was a little bit more vanilla in this one because I think it deserves that. I think it would work with a little bit more vanilla. Still not bad by any stretch, but I think I actually enjoy the base more because it's giving me more of that base pumpkin beer goodness that I come to know when it comes to Schlafly's. Mm. Man, in the mouthfeel on both of them are absolutely bonkers. Like, like that's one of the things I think, pumpkin beers, very much kind of get dismissed as how great the mouthfeel can be because of the gourd you use in there. And the reason why I keep using the word gourd is I consider non-pumpkin gourd-based beers to be pumpkin beers. For example, like Saucony Creek Maple Mistress, they use a base gourd instead of a pumpkin. Well, that's Mount Rushmore beer for me when it comes to pumpkin beers. And it just has this rich, decadent, like I said, like S tier level Doppelbock level kind of mouthfeel. Which to me, when Doppelbock is right on a mouthfeel level, it's probably one of the best mouthfeels you can have in beer, and that's where pumpkin beers can land too. So that's another reason why I probably dig them so much. Yeah. Yes. So still world class pumpkin beer, still up there for me as base beer pumpkin beers go. If I'm gonna kind of rattle off the top four off the top of my head, be Weyerbacher, or sorry, W.E. Yerbacher, their pumpkin beer, Maple Mistress, Schlafly. I would probably go Sam Adams. Their old school pumpkin beer. I don't know if it's the same recipe, but when they used to do like the bomber bottles, that pumpkin beer really did for me. They're probably the four best pumpkin beers. Unless we're going like weird pumpkin beers, like like there's a couple breweries that do like weird like barrel aged barley wine. This is a sour slash one. No, I'm talking about base pumpkin beers. They're kind of my Mount Rushmore, and this stands true. It's still there, still worthy of being up there. It is Mount Rushmore status. It's just this variant I think could have some really cool kind of um, what's the word I'm looking for? Not tag along or association with this. I just think it honestly, as someone who likes almost exclusively vanilla to always be reserved, I would like this to have just a little bit more vanilla. I think it would really shine. But yeah, Schlafly pumpkin versus pumpkin vanilla in the books. I don't think it's going to change much, but we always do it for science. So that's what science does. Do the old super QV. Cheers. Here. I'm just going to go with the base. But there you go. A little bit of Schlafly side by side. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Like I said, Mount Rushmore status of pumpkin beers. This is already there, so it's going to stay there. This one on the outside looking in, but if you put that vanilla on there and we talk about weird pumpkin beers or adjusted or whatever pumpkin beers, it could be close to the top. Value and availability. Schlafly is typically well uh, spot on priced. You know what I mean? We don't get a ton of it up here. I think they pulled back some of their distro. I would buy Schlafly up here. It'd be like sixers for 10, $11. I'm sure that's still the case. And leave you with, if you like what we like this, if you like pumpkin beers, honestly, what you're getting here is really good beer that just happens to be pumpkin beers. That go full circle to my initial comments in this video. They're just really good beers that happen to be pumpkin beers. It's just the only nitpick I have here is in a perfect world, I think they add a little bit more vanilla. And I say it again with the asterisks of this guy likes his adjunct slash vanilla to be reserved. So I think you just could use a touch more. There you go. Reviewing the books. Hopefully you enjoyed Massive Beers. If you want to check me out doing the social media stuff, Beer Massive podcasting stuff. And Schlafly, have you been to the brewery? Have you had their beers? Have you had this beer? Have you had that beer? Have you had them together? Let's talk about it down below. Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Hopefully see you next time. Cheers.